The Shadow Out of Time by H.P. Lovecraft. This is highly considered Lovecraft's opus, the great accumulation of his work. This was written in 1935, published in Amazing Tales in 1936, a year prior to his death of intestinal cancer. And this is dense. Not dense in as into able to understand the premise of stuff, but dense in content and imagination and thought and just the grand scope of the universe and time and race. A lot of subject of deep times in here. A lot of it, the great race of the Yith, or at least plant-like, long-necked, multi-limbed, bug-eyed aliens that are very much ruled by logic and science. There are connections in family and stuff. That's one thing I do love in science fiction. The customs and the interaction and the social structure of alien species. I really have to thank probably Dragon Ball Z to get me into this, because the Namekian race, Piccolo's people, the slug people, the mollusk people, they're just anthropomorphic slugs. And just how fascinating how they asexually reproduce, and the Dragon Balls, and their long lifespan, and they don't eat food. They just drink water. The plants that they're actually harvesting are trees. And, but we're here to talk about Lovecraft, not DBZ. But that really did spur my interest in different alien interactions and cultures and stuff. And this is really deep. It's a whole body-swapping experience of John Wingate Peaslee entering the body of the Great Yith and going through this just frightening experience and understanding and reading. And just it's really interesting. Like Lovecraft had this great idea that people who seem mentally unstable, people who are crazy, people who are gibbering away are actually being possessed by aliens, or acting weirdly or out of character, what is for the norm for them. That's an interesting idea. I like that. And this deals with time travel. It's a very dense, thick book and story. I got the audiobook version of it. It was on sfaudio.com. I'd put the link there, but it seems all their audio files are now gone, or not really quite responsive. It's a shame, because the guy who read the audiobook version of this, he sounded like Bill Clinton. He had that kind of strained type, I don't want to say meek voice, but he had that type of, that straining when he talks. I'm not Phil Hartman, I can't really do a good Bill Clinton impression. But that's what it reminded me of. That's what my mom pointed out when I was listening to it. Hey, he sounds like Bill Clinton. But it's really fascinating that that some of the oldest places on the planet and oldest artifacts and stuff are found in Australia, and that becomes a big point in the novel near the end. It's just dense. It's just pure science fiction. It's really just out there. It kind of just sets it up for you and just lets you run with it. And it's really interesting learning all these new customs and creatures, and they're plant-like, and they don't eat food. They have this type of food they feed upon, and kind of like plant milk, kind of like from Princess from Mars, with the Tharks and all that. I just like that loose, out there science fiction where the aliens look nothing like humans, or would have our type of body shape and where our genitals would be and everything. They're very plant-like and stock-like. It's kind of funny in Star Wars and Star Trek that and some other science fictions we have such sentient and such human-liking variations of aliens and stuff. Like there's nothing crazy like a disembodied something made out of just that look like Tangela from Pokemon. That's what these things, or Weeping Bell or something like that. That type of just straight up plant alien. No, we have like aliens with just horns on their head, or just slight variations of human. Like this race has tattoos on their skin, and this race, Arcanians from Star Wars, they're all albino, and they all have silver eyes and pointed ears. In here, this just goes balls out crazy with the anatomy of the aliens. Um, and a lot of this did play in the video game Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the Earth. It took pieces from everything from Lovecraft, from Cthulhu, from Dagon, from The Shadow over Innsmouth, from Rats in the Walls, from Dreams of Witch House, from from The Shadow Out of Time. This one, because there's a big twist at the end of the game about the whole Yith and them combating. They're the kind of benevolent aliens in there, because they're not all chaos and destruction and transcendental slimy things like Azathoth or Cthulhu or like any other Yog Sothoth, other gods. These guys are just scientists first. They're not agents of destruction, and they're not some other variation of, say, like a chaos god or the devil. They're just learned men. They just want to better themselves and learn more about the universe and just be academic and kind of just kind of organize things in their cyclopean type catacombs of just knowledge and just mile high bookshelves and stuff. It's so big. It's just like it would be so hard to make a movie out of this, because it would be kind of boring, because there's just a lot of talking of experiences. It would be kind of like it had to be kind of shot like, say, if a Citizen Kane or a Barney's version, where you see this person progress through his life at a slower pace, not necessarily like bam zoom, let's get in a gunfight type stuff you'd like to see, or just getting scared. This wasn't really much based off a horror. This isn't really horror at all. This is just straight up raw science fiction, and I appreciate that. It's a really great work. It's interesting. It's expansive. I could not gush any more about this. Check it out. A Shadow Out of Time by H.P. Lovecraft. One of his last works. And next up tomorrow on Halloween, we'll pick up probably his most featured, or his most popular work, and his most what really put him on the map and created this whole subculture of Lovecraftian and these type of horror files and stuff like that, who are Lovecraftian pulp fans like myself. I really like you enjoyed, and Disney bought Lucasfilm, so things are a-changing. So, peace.